welcome to the Big Sound series with me, Lucinda Bell. Hooray! Cue applause. Thank you. So today is a very exciting day. Today marks the first day that we are doing episode 1 of Inside a Song. More applause. I have to do it. I can't help it. It's a new gimmick. I really like it. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you a few facts, a bit of history about this song, La Vie en Rose. Hello. And I'm also going to play you some of my favorite versions, and we're going to go into those versions a little bit and try and identify what makes them different, why might we thought they are a hit. And then I'm going to break down for you my version. I'm actually going to perform my version for you. But I'm going to let you in on the secrets. I told you in Inside a Song I'm going to let you on the secrets. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my work in process so you see how I arrived at the version I did. So let's get going with the initial version of the song. Edith Piaf. La Vie en Rose was first written by Edith Piaf, and the melody was written by Louis Guy and Margot, I think Margaret Monon. It was released on Columbia Records in 1947. And did you know, interesting fact, that the translation of the song means life in happy hues, as in like life seen through a happy lens. So I'm going to play you her version of the song. And I just want to tell you that when I first heard this, I was like a kid. I didn't like it, was not into her voice. Tell me what you think. I'm going to play for you now. Here we go. Hi, David. Nice introduction.
Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se perd sur sa bouche, voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas,
Hi, Mohammed.
je vois la vie en rose.
Definitely keep your comments coming. This is a discussion.
Il me dit des mots d'amour,
Very dramatic,
des
right?
mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque
Thumbs up if
chose.
you can hear this, right?
Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie.
That's a good time to stop. Okay, so what I figure out from that song is that it's obviously very in keeping with the era, 1947. Big orchestration, dramatic entrances. But something that's really key in that is that they had a really nice introduction, which ends with a kind of like a nice cadence, which is something that I have always been influenced by with my music. You can't beat a good introduction, which is missing in today's music, I think. Another interesting fact about it was that it was the biggest selling single in 1948 in Italy, and it was the 9th biggest single in Brazil in 1949. So obviously, I think the charm of that was the time that it was released, her spectacular voice. I don't think anyone was really that well known for singing with that type of a vibrato. So Edith Piaf herself, I think, really carries the song. And obviously, let's not forget that the words were so important, especially at that time. Hold me close and hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. So a great way to kick it off with Edith Piaf, the original version. Let's move on now to one of my favorite versions, which was Louis Armstrong. So what happened was Mac David wrote the English lyrics. And in the 50s, do you know that Bing Crosby made a recording of this? Somebody called Paul Weston. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of Paul Weston? I didn't know who he was. And Louis Armstrong recorded this with Cy Oliver and his orchestra in 1950. I think probably this has, like, without whether I like it or not, has influenced me. I'm going to give you a quick, play of this, and I'll talk over it whilst it's happening. I haven't figured out how to stop and start the music yet on my thing. So, here we go. Should be coming in. Totally different. It just encompasses Louis Armstrong. You can see him on stage doing this. Just laid back, New Orleans-y, Dixieland vibe. Yes, Daniel. Can anyone tell me, do you know what key signature it's in? It's a straight up 4/4, but slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long introductions again. Louis solo. He starts with a solo. Now we've got this hopping. 1, 2, 3, 4. A double time in the background. Okay, I'm going to stop there. No, I don't want to. Okay, so what makes that song cool is I personally feel this wonderful, it's very magical with that glissando. That's very, very magical. And the whole thing just creates magic and awe and just this totally laid back vibe, totally different to the Edith Piaf version. Way cooler, in my opinion. Way more soul, way more actual soul. One of my favorite versions. And very interestingly enough, he leads with a melody. He's straight in with a melody after that very magical introduction. But again, short introduction, strong melody. And then we have that interesting kind of like, I think what was really interesting at that time is that people were recording with an orchestra. The way they actually recorded was very real, but the trumpets up front. Then you hear later on the guitar is being mixed way up high in the track, which again gives it personality. All of this adds to the personality. Okay, moving swiftly on. I feel conscious of time. I want to keep your engagement, people. Thank you, Mohammed. And I'm going to be turning to the camera in a minute. Okay, this is one of my favorite versions of La Vie en Rose. I actually thought that it was produced by Trevor Horn. I got that wrong. Totally got that wrong. I've worked with Trevor Horn. I thought it was him. This was taken from Grace Jones. This is Grace Jones's debut album. It was her third single on her debut album in 1977. And I think it's radical what they did with this song. I'm just going to give you something before. I'm going to play you a motif. So a motif is something that repeats in a song. So this is the motif. First of all, they're breaking it down by doing a bossa nova. How cool is that? It's dum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. So that's the kind of beat, and then they've got this wonderful motif that comes in. Oh, that's a bit high. Oh, okay, well, sorry, let's do it again. That just is wonderful, and that arrives like not even at the beginning of the song. And what's radical about the song is that they completely changed the chord progression. They've made it more poppy. It's a complete rewrite in some ways of the song, and Grace Jones sings so beautifully in French. I'm going to give you a little shot of that to listen to. Sounds like the key of C. Nice. A minor. Yeah. You mean the Louis one? Nice. Thanks, Mohammed. Mo. I know you, Mo. I think it's equal to Louis Armstrong for me. I like both. they take equal rank of my breathing. I'm going to bring you in until you hear that motif, because I want you to hear the motif. Tune, I know, Tony. Tune, massive tune. And this is the bass line, it's busy. This is what you would expect her to start singing, but no, they keep you wanting more. They just keep going on, and they keep building higher and higher and higher. And now you can see them coming. Motif.
Tes yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se fait sur sa bouche. Voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens. Oh, il me prend.
Okay, we can move all day to this, but I'm going to cut it off. If I knew how to fast forward and rewind, I'd actually be able to stop at fast forward and rewind. That will be sorted for the next Insider song. Moving swiftly on to me. I'm bringing it back to me, people. So let me take you through the approach. First thing you got to do, let me show you something that you might find interesting. Come with me on this. I'm here. Hi. I'm back in the room. Okay, let me show you this. Let me show you something that you're going to want to see. Look at this. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I forgot about the mic. So this is how I begin every song. I mean, this is just a jazz chord sheet that most jazz artists work from. And you figure it out. You just map out the chords, and then you also figure out the key. So this is how it begins with the song. And so this is, in fact, what I did with the song. So let me show you what I did. I just mapped it out. And I went kind of, quite gypsy jazz, quite Louis, just quite, straight with the rhythm. I'll give you a taste of that, okay? Can you tell me if this is good, people? Can you tell me if you're liking this? Can you share with me if you are liking, I'm not going on too much. Okay, here we go. So I decided on a key. I'm in a 4/4 time signature. And this was just me mapping out the chords. So I was like, I'm going to take you to a reverb. Hello. Nice. Okay, so we did. Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sigh. And though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. Nice, right? I think that's kind of nice. That's how I've been rolling with that for quite some time. And then I thought, no, we can make it better. So along comes the snake. This is something that I use to create a more bassy feel. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. So I add this to my strings. And this is going to change the sound. But this is like, just imagine that I'm playing on my own as I am for you right now, and I don't have a band with me. How can we make things more interesting? How can we mix it up? You're going to see it sounds different. It's more solid. So now I've muted my strings, I've created a bass. So I can go again with that. I'll play the first bit. Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sigh. And though I close my eyes, I see la vie en rose. Okay, nice, right? Thank you, David. But that's actually not my version. So, that's nice, but what did we discover in the other ones? We need an introduction. I'm the queen of the introduction. So we could do something massively harpy like this. Okay, this is like really old-fashioned. Okay, so that's already better, in my opinion. It's like I've led you in, I've teased you in a very dramatic harpy way. But you all know that I try not to be that harpy, even though I play a harp and people call me harpy. So I figured the key thing here is that the thing that makes you feel that you want to arrive at the song is that we are arriving with a perfect fifth cadence, which is C, F, because I'm in the key of F. So I decided not to do that. And for some reason, the Louis song kept coming back to me. Let me see your comments. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. The Louis version kept coming back to me. So I thought of church bells. So this is what I did. So harmonics on the harp. I've got to get it right. I think that's kind of pretty, and suddenly the vibe has completely changed. I'm taken away from the Edith Piaf, I've moved away from the Louis Armstrong, and I'm putting my own identity, I'm inserting my own personality that is also agreeable with the harp. So here you go, here's the version I ended up with of La Vie en Rose. Hope you like it. Sorry about the reverb. I can't hear very well, here we go again. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me to your heart, I'm in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into love songs. Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. And there you have it, people. I could have done that a bit better, but hey, I'm kind of making it up. But I like that version. Let me know what you think of that version. I'm just going to turn to the camera right now. Oh, I'm always doing this. So, thank you, Jenny, for coming online. And thank you, people, for joining me today. Please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and pass it to your friends. So welcome and thank you for joining me on the first episode of Inside a Song. I'm sure I will finesse it, make it better as we move forward. Thank you for being along for the journey, and I will catch you on Monday for the Big Sound series. Subscribe.